The Wuhan coronavirus has been creating a lot of alarm worldwide as the number of persons infected and dying grows. But what can you do to reduce your susceptibility to this virus and also prepare yourself for it? I'm Dr. Doug, and my channel focusing on powering up your health education and health practices using recent research. And because I'm from Jamaica, I'm going to leave with you a special Jamaican treat, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. Before we go into our discussion, let us first understand what happens when these germs enter our bodies. What really happens is that our immune system actually reacts to the presence of these germs. So in other words, if your immune system does not have a very strong reaction to the presence of these germs, then there's less likely to be any significant harm to you. And you do actually have some persons who don't respond very strongly, and those are the ones who don't seem to suffer much harm. Those are what we call sometimes the carriers. Now, understanding this is important in the process of preparing for possible exposure to these germs, including the Wuhan coronavirus. What you find is that the same things that causes a strong inflammatory reaction inside the body are the same things that will prime your immune system to overreact to the presence of these viruses. Now, I have a video called Number One Health Secret, and this goes into some detail in terms of the things that trigger inflammation in the body, and hence what you can do to reduce your body's inflammatory reaction and thereby reduce the likelihood of you overreacting to these viruses. I also have a book called Beyond the Prescription, which is on Amazon, and it goes into even more details about the steps that you can take to reduce inflammation in your body and hence prepare for this virus. Now, the links for the video and the book are below, so you could check those out. Other things that you can do to reduce your body's likelihood of overreacting to the virus is there are some supplements that you can take. You could take zinc. You could also use a naturally sourced vitamin C. Reishi mushroom has also been shown to be helpful in protecting you against viral infections. And probiotic also reduce your body's likelihood of overreacting to these germs. So these are some supplements that you can use. What if the Wuhan coronavirus is actually in your area? Now, what do you do then? You can reduce your goings out into public areas because that will reduce your exposure. You can also try and stay away from persons who may be infected, because as we say in Jamaica, coward man keeps on bone. I'll explain that to you later. Also, it has been recommended that you want to carry around anti-infective wipes like an alcohol-based wipe, although the effectiveness of this has not really been tested. It's also recommended that you wash your hands carefully and ensure that you avoid touching possible contaminated areas. But one thing I would want to discourage though is excessive use of anti-infective and disinfectant substances such as disinfectant and bleach, because yes, they may actually kill the virus, but guess what? If you should be exposed to that virus, they can prime your immune system to overreact to the virus should you be exposed. So it's kind of counterproductive. And what has been shown is that regular soap and water does as good a job as any of these substances, so you really don't stand to benefit much from you using it. So what I'd recommend you do, limit the use of chemicals in preparation for this virus. Now, supposing you do have the infection, then of course you'd want to limit your exposure to other persons, and you'd want to seek medical attention right away. But ensure that you go to a well-established facility such as a hospital and call ahead to ensure that they are prepared to accept you. You don't want to be mixing with persons who might not be infected. Other things that you should do, if you should sneeze or cough, ensure that your face is covered. And you'd also want to ensure that if you should have any of these contaminated rags or hand towels, make sure they are handled with care. In terms of hand towels, you dispose of them properly, and you also need to make sure that you wash your hands regularly to reduce contamination. One thing I want to make note of is that there are some persons who might think that it may be a good idea to wear a face mask. This has not been really shown to be very effective. The only mask that has been found to really help is the N95 mask, which is not something which is really available in the public. So wearing a face mask is not likely to help very much, unfortunately. Now, if you want to understand what my Jamaican proverb means, it means that sometimes it's best to be on the safe side and appear as a coward than expose yourself unnecessarily and get yourself in trouble. So make sure that you keep safe. Now, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, look out for upcoming videos, and share it with others. Take care.